How to write an impactful development impact statement for your Commonwealth scholarship application. It's not an impossible task, but certainly it's not a simple one. It requires planning, it requires consistency, commitment, and clarity of thought. I'm Zoha Javed, the Commonwealth Shared Scholar for 2023 at University of Nottingham for MA Public Policy. And today I'm going to introduce you to development impact statements and share some tips as to how you can write a successful development impact statement. So what is a development impact statement? It basically means that when you apply for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship or any other, you are selecting some sort of global theme, such as strengthening global peace or anti-terrorism or gender equality or prevention of climate change, mitigation, and other rehabilitation themes. And under each theme, there are different sustainable development goals like no poverty or quality education or decent work and economic growth. So when you're applying for Commonwealth, you're basically going for some sustainable development related research. And if you're an engineering student or a social science student or a business student, you have to, if you kind of like tailor your entire study to sustainable development, any of the goals, chances are you can secure the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So for that, you have to be very well read upon sustainable development goals. That's my number one tip. Go and study all of the 17 SDGs and what constitutes it, what comes under it. Now, the development impact statement is directly related to all of those SDGs that you will select in your application. For example, my research was related to construction waste management. So I selected SDG 11 of Sustainable Cities and Communities. It's also catered to slum rehabilitation, so I selected no poverty and quality education. So this way, I had very clear goals that I matched my study to. So now I have to write a development impact statement for my country. So I have to apply it, the SDGs, various stats related to it, and give them a coherent plan. When they're going to give you some money, they want you to put effort and hard work into it. So make sure that you are giving them something concrete and not something that you just simply, fished out in 1 week or two. It requires months of planning. So let's dig into it. So there are 4 parts to a development impact statement. In the first part, you're supposed to introduce the problem that you're trying to solve. So you simply state your problem. You should back it up with some stats and citation so that it's a concrete problem. Then you propose a solution, and then you propose a research gap. Research gap is simply that area of study that has not been investigated much and you aim to study it. All right, so you will identify a research gap in it. And then you will say that applying for this scholarship or this program is something that is going to help me study this problem and find a solution or complete this or fill this research gap. That's your development impact part 1. So once they know, oh, it's a problem that she or he has highlighted, clearly they have a solution in mind, they have some research study behind it, I can continue with it. Then there is development impact statement part 2. Part 2 is about what motivated you to come here and how this applied program that you were applying to, for example, I was applying to MA Public Policy, how does it help you accomplish this research study that you just identified, this impact that you want to create? And then what you have to do in that part is to go on the course site of your module, of your degree, check out all the modules, check out all the details, check out placement opportunities, just study the entire school that you're applying to in that particular university, and then apply that information in this part of the statement and match it to your research, right? Then there's a third part of the development impact statement where you have to mention your short-term goals, like, okay, this is your research study, this is the impact that you want to create, so just tell me, in 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself? What are you going to do with it? So you see, you cannot just simply pitch them an idea. You have to give them a plan. Like, yeah, you mean to do it. They need to see it in you that you will deliver. So in this part, in the third part, you will mention yearly goals. In 1 year, I achieved to do this, or in 3 years, I achieved to do this. In 5 years, I want to go here. What you have to make your goals a bit concrete, like I want to secure some sort of funding or a grant or a job, or some concrete goals like publications or sessions or whatever volunteer experience you have in your mind that you're going to do in coming future. So these need to be very short, crisp, and concise. Part number 4 is how will you measure the impact that you want to create, right? So if you cannot measure the impact, they will not take you seriously. You want them to take you seriously? You have to come up with some measurable aspect. This is a very hard part. People often know what to research for, but they don't know that, yeah, I will create an impact in my country, but how am I going to measure it? I haven't even started working on it, right? So what you do is check on the relevant indices online. For example, if it's research related to happiness, just look at the World Happiness Report. If it's something to do with global development or global sustainable development ranking, check out those indices and say that this is some sort of a matrix or improvement that you are trying to achieve. You can also check that in your research study, the problem that you have identified, what are the variables? And in the result of implementation of your research, these are the XYZ variables that will either increase or decrease with this solution that I'm providing. So this is just like a subtle guide to you. This is how you can propose that this is how I will measure the impact of my study. You can also pitch to them that you will annually review them on XYZ matrix. So you need to have a plan. For example, if you are, just a general example, if you're studying decrease in poverty in a particular area, you will say, I aim to reduce poverty in this particular area by XYZ percentage. It stands currently at this percentage. So that's measurable. After the development impact statement, these 4 parts, they need to be very coherent and there needs to be a story in there. It's just not, don't just make it just like stats and all. There should be a story, like a motivation. It should all make sense. It should all come together. So I wrote it myself and I didn't get it reviewed by anyone else. If you're confident enough, keep it to yourself. If you're not, I would recommend that you take advice from your peers, people or teachers you trust. I was in my job, so I wasn't in contact with my teachers much, so I didn't get any second opinion, but you can for sure go for that. Then after the development impact part ends, there is study outline, detailed plan of study, objectives during award, and a 5-year career plan, long-term plans, a personal statement that you have give, an essay on volunteer and leadership experience. So we will talk about this in the next video. Right now, you have to work on the development impact statement. It's not that difficult. It just needs some sort of commitment. And if you're honest, if you're just doing this to secure the scholarship and go abroad and have a posh experience, chances are you might not get it. You should be passionate about what you're trying to study, and your words and the way you write your story should show that you are passionate about it and you want to create that change or find that problem solution that you're aiming for. So once they see sincerity and cohesiveness in your development impact statement, they will surely, kind of like refer you further, or they will trust you. Before you do all this, just make sure you are in contact with your referees. This is very important. This can make and break your chances because I applied after 2 years of completing my graduate studies, so I couldn't connect with many referees, so I wasn't able to secure 2 academic reference statements. If I had, I could have applied to more universities. So I'm just telling you that if you aim to apply this year, just make sure that you have your referees sorted out. You have their consensus. You have their consent that they will help you and write you your reference statement. And just for reference statements and all of that, I will also make a video on that, how to expedite it and how to help your referees write your reference statements timely. So this is it, guys. It's not that complex, just requires some thought and some commitment on your part. I hope this helps. And if you have any queries, reach out to me. Bye-bye.